and welcome back. Today the video is going to be about what it means to be normal and what it means to be adjusted to one's society. Maybe you have been asking yourself the question, are you average? Are you similar to other people around you? Or maybe you feel like you're really someone who is thinking differently, who is living his life differently in comparison to the people around you. What it actually means to be normal is a rather deep topic. It's fascinating to think about something that we are talking about or thinking about so regularly and we take for granted, but we don't really analyze what it means on a deeper level to be adjusted to one's society. And I find it fascinating because if you think about your life is really happening in a rather short period of time, if you compare it to the whole of history. And so what we know about the history is that societies are vastly different. They have changed over time, and what it means to be normal is just some convention that is actually a very short-lived outer circumstance that the society adopts and behavior that it generally is thinking of as being normal. And so if you're normal, you're really just normal in comparison to what is going on around you at that very moment in history, in time. The more important question I think we should ask is, what is society actually? What is the state of society? Is it healthy? Is it insane? Is it sane to be adopted to a society that is actually really insane? And so we should really look at our behavior in a broader, larger context. And if we are adjusted to our own society, it might be normal to do really insane things if we look at them on a broader, longer time horizon. For example, I think when we are just working a lot and then using all of our hard-earned money to not really deeply think about what we are spending that money on, but just consuming products, pre-made, conceived notions of what will give us happiness, and then filling our lives with all of this stuff. And this could be really normal, a normal behavior in today's society, that you earn a wage and you try to maximize your consumption according to what you earn. And I don't know, I think that's really crazy, given the fact that we are so many people on this earth and the way we are living is not really in line with nature and not really in line with what nature can or is capable of sustaining. And so from a larger perspective, maybe from a few hundred years into the future, people looking back at what we called normal human behavior and felt really comfortable doing, they might actually see as insane. And so I guess asking yourself the question what it really means to be normal, and if you want to be normal, is a really important question, because you should ask that in line with what your society is doing. And the second important thing I believe to consider in this context is what our role actually should be if we see that society is not really the sane in the sane state that we thought it was. And so should we be the outsider? Should we be the one who is thinking differently, who is living differently, in order to change something about society, to put our input into this large web of the notion what it means to be normal, and to shift it towards a certain direction? Or should we really just go with the flow and be a very normal being, adapted or according to society's standards? And that is a question that I think everybody is asking himself unconsciously, because when we grow up, we ask the question, okay, what do I want to do? Which job do I want to take? or in general we think about which things we want to do with our life. And so we value these options differently, because there's always in the back of our mind this notion of, yeah, this is a normal thing to do, I would really like to do something else, but this is not supported by society, my parents are critical of it, my friends do something completely different and would think I'm crazy. And so really everything that we decide about our life is really shaped by this question what society means, or what society tells us is normal. And that's why this is such an important topic. And to make it a conscious decision, to make it a conscious question in our mind, if we really want to succumb to this feeling of being normal, which comes with a lot of benefits to yourself. This is also important to notice, is that when we think our life is according to society standards and we are living a normal life, this comes with a lot of comfort. It's we don't have to spend so much mental energy on thinking about our actions, rather if they are good, if they are not good, if they are the correct ones, and if they bring us the most happiness, because there's somehow a pre-made choice for us. They are really someone else, or society has taken part of the decision-making process and the effort and has just given us certain values, and so it's easy to adopt them. That's the status quo, and that's why it is the status quo. When we think about our own path in life, we should, or I think it's better to consider all of the choices equally and judge them based on a very broad overview perspective, where we look at not only our own time where we live, but also the past and the future, and see where does my behavior fit in. And so this is really what I have found makes our decisions that much more in line with what we actually value, instead of what values are given to us from society.